Hi and welcome to Motorcycles UK and our highlights of Motorcycle Live 2022. So yesterday Chris, Steve and myself jumped in the car, not on bikes I'm afraid, the weather was absolutely awful, and we went up to Motorcycle Live. So upon entering Motorcycle Live this year, I found it to be a lot busier than last year and we headed straight for Suzuki. Mostly because we know the people on the Suzuki stand and we wanted to hang our coats up somewhere, but also to check out their new models. Suzuki this year, of course, have introduced the GSX 8S and the V-Strom 800DE. Now, these bikes are based on the same engine. They look like they're going to be fantastic bikes for your first bike. Also on the Suzuki stand, and I love this about Suzuki, they're a real heritage brand and they embrace that heritage at the show every year, and I must say the display of older bikes, I absolutely loved it. There was a Pier Francesco Killy GSXR 750, an All-Star 1000, a beautiful GSXR 1100 that I absolutely loved, and a TL 1000S. Next up was Honda, and middleweight adventure bikes and road bikes seem to be the way to go, as Honda have introduced the Transalp 750 and a Hornet 750. Unfortunately, I didn't get a picture of the Hornet 750, I just missed it. They also have what I thought was a really nice looking and a nice touch for a loyal servant of the big red wing, and that is a John McGuinness 100 TT Starts commemorative Fireblade, which looks absolutely brilliant. And so to Ducati, and the bike that caught my eye on the Ducati stand, well, that was their new Desert X, which looks to be an absolute weapon off-road. 950cc or 937cc engine straight out of the Ducati Supersport, and that does look to be an absolute beast of an off-road bike. Talking of absolute beasts, of course, there is the Diavel V4, which looked absolutely unbelievable, but again, didn't get a picture, sorry. And the, I think, absolutely stunning, for the particularly well-heeled amongst you, the Lamborghini Street Fighter V4. What a thing that is. While we were wandering around, we stumbled across the aerial stand, and what was cool on the aerial stand wasn't the Atom or the off-road version of it, but their lineup of retro vintage bikes. I mean, I say retro, they're not retro, they're actually vintage motorcycles, obviously made by Ariel's, a historic motorcycle company, and they looked really cool all lined up together. But moving on to the really modern stuff, of course, we passed by the Kawasaki stand. Now, Kawasaki had on display a prototype Ninja Hybrid, which looked really cool, actually. And also, they had their two Ninja and Z EV bikes, totally electric bikes. Now, they're not ready for launch yet, but they do look like they're going to be really cool. On the subject of electric bikes, well, Chris and I couldn't help get very excited about the Super Socko off-roader. I think it's called the Off-R. That's looking to come in next year, and it's going to be between £6,000 and £7,000. And I've got to be honest, we are eyeing up one of those because they look like a lot of fun. Talking of alternatives, of course, there's lots of alternative brands at Motorcycle Live, and the two that caught my eye, I've got to be honest, one was the Dot Cafe Racer, which looked absolutely superb, and the British Racing Green, very, very cool thing. Didn't get into too much detail on it, but I just loved the look of it. And what I thought looked really nice was a Fantic Caballero 700. New for next year, obviously the biggest engine in the Fantic range, and that looked like it might be something to be a little bit different if you like your retro bikes. Back into the mainstream and onto the Triumph stand, where we saw, well, you couldn't really miss it because it's day glow yellow, the Triumph Street Triple RS Moto 2 Special Edition. What a thing that is, it looks absolutely stunning. Of course, Triumph also launching a range of chrome modern classics as well. Then on to BMW, and I must say, this bike was very, very impressive. It's the S1000R M Sport. So it's the naked version of the M1000RR, and it's got the wings to go with it, 200 horsepower, and looks to be an absolute weapon. So that wraps up our highlights of Motorcycle Live 2022. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, remember to like, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'd really appreciate that. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.